The NDC is back in the limelight with other controversial issues in the political landscape. Firstly, the country was treated to a resignation of Chishimba Kambwiri as NDC party president.
I have, with immediate effect, tendered my resignation to the Central Committee of the National Democratic Congress. That simply means that I have resigned from the National Democratic Congress with immediate effect.
And Friday saw Savoy Imwela emerge as new party president. The new party president also told journalists in Lusaka that talks are underway to form a pact with the ruling Patriotic Front. She told a media briefing in Lusaka that they will only agree to be part of the alliance on condition that the PF also agrees to its terms.
Opened up talks in terms of alliances, okay? So we are open to talks with the PF. Let me make that point very clear. We are open to talks of an alliance with the PF, okay? But if the PF won't do things that we want them to do, we shall not go in alliance. Because like I've said, we are not in a hurry to form government. You get the point? We are not in a hurry. Just the same way we opened up with the UPND and they did not do what we wanted and we stayed away. With the PF, we're going to open up, or rather we've opened up those talks. And if they go a certain way, then we may have an alliance with the PF. But if they don't go a certain way, we're going to feed our candidates. Because our demands still remain the same. We want to see NDC members of parliament. We want to see NDC councillors. We want to see NDC mayors.
But as usual, the NDC faction could not go without a fight for legitimacy and exposing political tactics being employed by the other camp. Emmanuel Malite is NDC media director.
The dots. The man is going to PF. The man is literally going to PF. He goes in, sneaks in, trying to want to negotiate. He apologized first and trying to go and send his agents to go and negotiate with KBF. And you know, members of the press, countrymen and women of this country, you know that Council KBF is against the adoption of President Lungu for 2021. Now look at this confusion. The same confusion that we've been passing through. He's going to PF to be campaigning for PF. He is going to have someone that he has installed to be running NDC who's against the presidents of President Lungu. Look at the danger that this man is causing because of his double standards.
It seems the NDC issues will be here for some time.
President Joseph Sirike Akafumba is the recognized president of NDC by law. And he is the one that is in charge. I am the national spokesperson. He is the media director. We have a vice president, Mr. Edward Mumbi. We have a secretary general, Mrs. Bridget Atanga, in whose name the case is in court. In whose name the case is in court on behalf of the party. These are the officials of NDC. This is the only NDC that exists. What Chishimba is purporting, Chishimba Kambwiri is purporting to be NDC is not NDC at all. So, that press conference, that press briefing that was made, the video that was made by Dr. Chishimba Kambwiri last night is contemptuous as well. So, and anybody else will be adding on to state anything related to calling themselves or masquerading as NDC. We are adding on to the contempt.
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
The Commission does make available the register after certification, and this will be done. We're certifying the register on the 9th. Like I mentioned, the verification exercise is still underway. It will end on 7. Once that is done, we'll go to the certification of the register, which will be made available. Stakeholders are free to procure the register. It's 50 kwacha per polling station. So if you want to get it for the entire nation, it comes to 608. Anyway, you can calculate. It's 50 kwacha times 12,000. And we have made a plea to political parties. It's very, very important that there's consistency. In one engagement meeting, you have this representative. For one reason or another, the other information it does not trickle down to the political party structures. And when other political party members speak, they'll say, no, the Commission does not engage us, which is very, very unfortunate. You will agree with us that the Commission has endeavored to ensure that everyone is brought to speed in what we are doing. I can give you a task. Please do benchmarking. It's very, very important. Look at the region, let alone globally, the extent within which the Commission has gone to engage stakeholders. Most electoral management bodies do not do what the Commission is doing. For us, we are doing this deliberately to ensure that all the stakeholders are informed of all the processes that we're doing leading up to the polls. This is in 12th August.
Sustainable Development Goal number 16 hopes to achieve peace, justice, and strong institutions. This entails that vices such as corruption are also curbed. Some stakeholders have, however, expressed concern at how the fight against corruption is being conducted under the United Party for National Development UPND administration, stating that this vice will not be eradicated without a clear strategy. In an interview, New Heritage Party President Mr. Shalakateka says there needs to be constant updates on how alleged corruption cases are going, including the alleged illegal awarding of a 51 million United States dollar fertilizer tender to Southern Province that is connected to a named minister in the UPND administration.
Because the nation is concerned, we've just come, the reason why the PF was removed, because people stopped to trust that. And here we are starting to dig a hole in the same direction. I think the president needs to be very aware of what people are thinking. We are holding them to account more because of what we have been through. And it's not because we hate them, it's because of what we have been through, and Zambians are simply saying, never again. Never again must we allow a government to take us in the route that we don't want to go.
Meanwhile, Zambians United for Sustainable Development ZUSD President Mr. Lazarus Chisela has called for the putting up of a proper systematic structure aimed at combating the vice, if to be successful.
I wanted to hear the president talking about the system that they are putting in place that will make sure that there will be no future political thugs. There will be no future political criminals. Right now, it's very problematic because within his government, within the government of UPND, we have seen signs of corruption. I expected the president to come on that platform and talk to the Zambian people. Yes, he was investigating the case of the foreign affairs minister who said, oh, he talked to the president. People wanted to hear what he told the president, what he was doing out there, where he got a briefcase full of nothing but a calendar, a brand new briefcase. So the people wanted to hear.
It is commonly agreed by stakeholders that development will never be attained in Zambia if corruption is allowed to thrive. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka. Street vending has become one of Zambia's main problems as the vice seems to be evolving despite various efforts to curb the same. The situation along Lusaka's Lumumba Road has become a death trap as vendors have begun slowly encroaching the main highway with their commodities, while some have developed a habit of sitting on the pavement as they trade in various commodities. Despite being removed off the road various times, these vendors have found their way back to the streets as they allege that markets have run out of space. The Zambia National Marketers Credit Association Zanamaka says managing street vendors will require a demonstration of true leadership. Zanamaka President Mr. Mupia Kameya was speaking to Camnet News.
I think this is a problem for all of us. Government is affected. The marketeers themselves that are trading in these designated places, they're also affected. And this is an issue that we want to emphasize, that government should move in very quickly to provide the leadership in terms of establishing markets and bus station boards, because these are people that will manage all these people found in these wrong places.
Meanwhile, Mr. Kameya asked that the association is working around making legal services easily available for market traders.
As regards to the the legal program that we have as an association. I think this is a very good program that we want everyone in the informal sector, as we are trying to do a digital, collection of this data across the country. Everyone must sit on this legal platform. In case they have a problem, they are taken to court. I think this will help them. Most of the markets have been gutted. People have lost property. They've lost, their lives, and no one has ever compensated them. And I think that's why we came up with, the legal Zanamaka legal platform, so that we will now engage, most of the law graduates who cannot do anything. Maybe they cannot find a job somewhere. We can work with them so that they offer their services to this very huge sector.
Stakeholders have been calling for an audit of markets to ensure that some street vendors are fused into these spaces as the country awaits the construction of more markets. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Hello there, lovely good afternoon, and welcome to the Lunchtime Cafe right here on Camnet TV. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Joe Smart, and do remember that you are watching us live on DSTV, GoTV, as well as our Facebook page, which is Camnet TV, as well as on YouTube. Do subscribe to our channel, by the way. Now, today we discuss the NDC and the UPND Pact, and to help me discuss this very important matter pertaining to national interest and national development, I have on set Mr. Joseph Kasonde. He is the Secretary General for the National Democratic Congress, NDC. Mr. Kasonde, good to see you.
How are you?
I'm alright, sir. I'm saying welcome back because we last hosted you. So we are here to do more like a post-mortem after our discussion.
Okay.
Yes. So first things first, let's talk about the press briefing that was held on Saturday. The agenda for the press briefing. Why did the party decide to hold the press briefing? And for those that did not attend or did not have a privilege to watch the press briefing, what were some of the items that you were highlighting?
Okay, one was just to give credit to the opposition political parties that they have to ensure that each time they are providing their checks and balances, it's important to show nationalism. And then they should be able to give the checks and balances so that it shows that they mean well, unlike just giving the negative part of what they think is not happening well. So there was that inspiration to make sure that they do their best. And at the same time, we wanted to encourage HH7, His Excellency, to see to it that he should not really look at those criticisms as a drawback, but it should be constructive criticism which would make him go on and on and on, especially that he inherited a cocktail of problems from the previous regime, in terms of various sectors of the economy and stuff like that. So we were simply trying to indicate to them that this is what should be done, and President also needs to move in that direction. And at the same time, we felt we should be able to make you, the journalists, to do your journalism in such a manner that at times you have to see that it's a balanced equation by getting the information on both sides. And not only that, also to be proactive when it comes to your identity, so that sometimes you're not caught up in the net as though that is the reason why you went to cover up a particular activity. And also, we're just trying to encourage the media to say, being a fourth estate, I think this government has seen to it that it's acknowledging you, and you were the first crop that were invited at State House, yes, and above all, it was more about encouraging you, the media, especially that we even have TV station like Prime TV, which was once shut but is back. And also we were wishing the commemoration of the World Press Freedom Day, which you need to be commemorating yourselves. So it was in a nutshell like that, and also just encouraging the members of the UCA to sit with that, they do an introspection of who they are and who are the subscribers, so that each time they want to do whatever they are doing in terms of a movement or a pressure group, they have to realize that are they legit or not? If they are not, why not? And that's why I was even challenging the Secretary General, Honorable Mulusa, to say, can you do an introspection among yourselves? See why. And I'll give an example. I said, sometimes it could be that some of your subscribers, they are questionable characters there and stuff like that. And of course, I talked about.
Do you believe that there are questionable characters in United Kwacha Alliance, UCA, Mr. Kasonde?
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is, here is an example. Each time I've talked about UCA, I've referred to one Madame Savoy, who has always come out to be one of the subscribers, one of the presidents of NDC, which is neither here nor there. So she's an alleged contemner. So a person that is an alleged contemner, definitely that's a criminal matter. Okay. And you don't expect such a person to be clean, and that's not a good character, so to say. So when I talk, it's such as for that. But I was quick to also mention that there are some who are very clean there, and I was given an example of Abwana Sapiwa Scotta, to say, yeah, but his attachment is what may be able to give him misfortunes in terms of recognizing that what he's speaking, is it fine or it's not fine. And basically, I also signaled to my party officials just not to take the party constitution into their own hands. Okay. And just to see to it that, you see, we follow the constitution of the party to avoid disciplinary measures, where I was talking of having suspended or rather expelled one Stephen Chewe because of internal administrative issues, and also one other gentleman, I think he was just afraid of the wind, Mr. Paulsen, so he decided to quickly resign before he appeared before the disciplinary committee. And I think that's where yes, and also there were some questions coming, which definitely I did answer. Yeah.
Okay. How, I want you to be very sincere with me, Mr. Kasonde.
Yeah.
How intact is the NDC that is in the pact with the UPND? Because we are hearing of disciplinary measures here. How tight are you as a party in a pact with the UPND?
No, we are intact.
Okay.
Yeah. The thing that should be understood is if a person is found wanting in the party, you can't run out from discipline. And sometimes, even if you may have challenging or teething issues, so to say, you can never be able to say, for the sake of moving forward, let's just keep on to tolerate indiscipline. No. You are better off to even start all over again, as long as you start with integrity, and then you become admirable. You may wish to know that if you are intolerant, and then you find that there are people that are not doing well, then you don't take the right measures, it becomes a problem at the end of the day. People want to admire, people want to also become leaders. Now, where you are, if there is issues that are not well, you just have not to accept that. So sometimes, like I'm saying, you can be intolerant because of the behavior of some people, but at the end of the day, you shape up and make the party cream. But we are intact, and we are moving on.
You are united?
Yes, we are. We are united. What I can only say is that we just have to dissect and make every Zambian know that NDC, like I'm saying, we are intact. We are on one NDC in this country, the whole Zambia. There are no two ways about it. And even today I decided to say, Madam Savoy Imberesh has sometimes come or maybe appeared to say she's an NDC member or an NDC president, which is more contemptuous. She is not. Today I have come with this is a certificate of registration. That's a certificate of registration, a copy. Yes.
I hope the camera can pick this up.
It was issued to us on 22nd September in 2017. That is the only certificate of registration that we have. And being the chief custodian of the party, I am the one that is holding on to the party documents. Now, if you were to be aggressive, or rather to be balanced, next time Madam Savoy comes here, try to ask her, do you have a certificate of registration for the party that you claim to be a president?
So you are the custodians of this certificate?
Yes.
The NDC that is in the pact with the UPN?
Yes, and there's no any other. So with her, that's why we're saying it's a masquerading. No wonder I'm saying people that want to entertain particular people to be part of them, they should be able to prove who they are. If they're coming from a particular organization, let them show the credentials that will say, oh yes, you are coming from here. If you are a president, show where is the authenticity, and there is a document, and I'm challenging her. If she can even come here and say, here's what we have, let us see if whether the registrar of societies can issue 2 certificates of registration to one political party, and then they let go us this one there, this one there. No wonder we even made a suing to them.
Has that matter been disposed of?
No. We're going back for on 22nd September. We need to go back for continuity of trial. That is on the alleged contempt that these gentlemen have committed, Mr. Kambwili, Savoy and Bwana Kaonga. Now, on the other side, there is a main matter where we sued them, because we had, first of all, wanted just to sue that the courts can prove who are the legit. But unfortunately, when we saw them trying to jump around too much, we felt an injunction was better, which we did, and then unfortunately, they ignored it and they were cited for contempt. And today we're now looking at the contempt part. Thereafter, then we'll now go to the main matter. So this is what I can say about the certificate. And the other thing is, these are the returns.
So you have the legal documents?
Yes, these are the returns that we submit.
From the Ministry of Finance?
Yes, this is now, you have to pay through Ministry of Finance.
Yes.
There's no direct giving cash there. So there's an invoice here, there's a receipt to show that we've made returns, like for this, every year you have to do a renewal. So we've done our renewal returns, and these are the documents, the invoice and the receipt, to clearly show that Registrar of Society cannot take money from 2, 3, 4 people. So if somebody comes and says, I'm president and I'm staff, find out, do you do your returns? Can you see your documents? I can prove it, because I just want to make sure we put this thing to a halt, where nobody should come and say, I am a president of a political party. And not only that, I've decided to come in the constitution. There's a reason why. This is the party constitution, and this is the National Democratic Congress disciplinary regulations for discipline part of it. Now, I wanted to say something on the constitution.
Please.
You see, you may wish to know, around 2019 or so, this party was deregistered, you know. When it was deregistered, we went through hell during the time of the PF regime. And my predecessor, now PS in Home Affairs, did his part to ensure that in 2020, yes, yeah, we were afforded back the NDC that is here today.
Okay.
So there was that first fight with my predecessor, and then it so happened that now at the time when we got a ruling in our favor, after it was deregistered, then we were brought back. There was even need to come up with a revised constitution for a reason, because you may wish to know that the time when Honorable Msenge formed this party, being the first person that was there was just only a Secretary General who happened to be him, and more of the other powers were within him. Now, later on, when there was a deregistration, and then we were re-registered again, there was need for us to be able to submit a new party constitution.
Okay.
And this is the party constitution that
which you did.
Yes, which we did, and that was in February 2021.
Okay.
And it was accepted. And this is where even the office bearers now, where Bwana Kafumba, Bwana Mwenyamsenge, Bridget Tanga, and the other 10 subscribed, and it was even signed behind there.
I can see some signatures.
Yes, these are the signatures for Mr. Kafumba, Bridget Tanga, Mwenyamsenge, and Christopher Mtale. All the 10 office bearers had to sign this, which was now taken on by the Registrar of Society. So nobody should say the NDC that we have has no constitution. This is the constitution which was deposited at the Registrar of Societies. And if somebody has to now say what, even the list of office bearers currently, I have something that is showing the list of office bearers, where Mr. Kafumba, by then, he's the one who was the top, but there are 10 of them, which are listed here. There's Barbara Musa, Bren Mulenga, Bridget Atanga, Charles Kawita, Christopher Mtale, Frank Choona, Joseph Akafumba, with the positions, of course.
Okay.
Joseph Akafumba as president, Laban Mwenyamsenge as secretary general, Stephen Chewe as chairperson, Victor Mwangaila as community member. Now, all these are the 10 that have been there from time immemorial to date, and Savoy, Kambwili, they are now nowhere near here.
So that's impersonation?
Definitely. People that want to claim, ask them, that's what I'm saying. Next time anybody comes and says, I'm NDC, I'm what, please say, can you give us a list of office bearers?
Well, you'll be cited for contempt.
No, for what? Because you are now talking of proving who you are.
Okay.
Because anybody will come here and pose, masquerade. And this is what I don't want. This is what we don't want as NDC, to confuse the people of Zambia. There are many people out there who are eyeing, who want to be in this party, National Democratic Congress, NDC, in the UP and the Alliance. But then they're saying, no, but there is another NDC. Now the question is, which is the other NDC? No wonder people are before the courts of law for contempt. But this is proof for you to quiz whoever as a balanced journalism if somebody comes, and then you'll see. Yeah. You may wish to know also that the Registrar of Societies, when it comes to subtracting anyone from the list of the office bearers currently today, they have no problem with that if correct documentations are done. For instance, Mr. Kafumba this time is no longer an office bearer here. There was a writer to indicate, and I have that documentation myself, because he's now a civil servant. Yes. And then in Mwenyamsenge, he also wrote to say, I now have my own party, so excuse me. So he's no longer, yes. But Bridget Atanga, also she's yet to get some appointment, but she has indicated already that please forgive me. No, we have Charles Kawita.
So it doesn't change anything?
No, the only change that happens, those people, they are now indicated to say they are no longer office bearers. Now, to put new ones, we have to wait for the courts to finish up what we are doing, because the cases are even active before the courts of law. Therefore, and there was a time when one time Savoy Imboila and her group, they wanted to sneak names into the office of the registrar. But then they were very alert, and then they told us about it. By the time I sent my security personnel there, the fellows, they ran away. But they were given a letter because they sent some documents of minutes and wanting to change names. They were told, no, the case is before the courts of law and very active, not until there's a change. So what I'm saying is, currently, you'll find that if someone has to do a search there, you'll find that there are about 4 people that are remaining now. Now, those 4 people, it's because they are still there, but these others, there's an indication that they are no longer. So I'm saying registrar of societies, to remove any name, they will have no objection, but to add who should take over or who should be the office bearers, first we have to finish up with the court cases. But in short, the authenticity of the party, that is National Democratic Congress, NDC, countrywide in Zambia, this is the party that we are in. And I was the second person that had to bring up these pieces of NDC. When my predecessor did it, when there was a deregistration, the next thing was when Mr. Kambwili went berserk. We remember when he said, when I go this side, I'll be lunatic, whatever. That time there was a breakup. And when that breakup was there, Honorable Kafumba decided to appoint me as national coordinator, just to do the cherry picking of who has remained. And this is where a new breed of leaders and also just other leaders were put in place as national coordinator. So much so that most of those that went, Madam Savoy Imbwera inclusive and the others, they went, and then when Bwana Kambwili again dropped them, went to PF, hell broke loose. That's how now even Madam Savoy decided just to say, I'm now president, because then we said, which president for which? And then the man now, you know, he's now sick and then he's recuperating, and the rest is history, where we are saying they don't have proper documentations. And I can even make an appeal to all those NDC members, the young ones, those aspiring MPs and stuff like that, please come back.
Okay.
Come to this NDC that is there. The doors are open. You didn't know why you went wherever you went. Somebody misled you. So NDC is saying, come home. Come. Our hands are open. And then let's be together in the European Alliance. Then we forge ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you talked about the opposition. There is a theory that is being forwarded by some section of society that currently, when you look at the crop of opposition political parties, there is no opposition that is capable of unseating the UPND-NDC alliance or the UPND alliance government. Now, there's also another theory that is being floated out there from the pro-UCA supporters or enthusiasts or sympathizers, that you, as the UPND alliance, NDC UPND alliance pact, you are scared of UCA. They give you goosebumps each time you hear UCA. I want you to address those two. You can't be unseated because of not having a convincing opposition. That's another version that is out there. Then also, each time you hear of UCA, you become yes. So just can you speak to those, Mr. Kasongo?
No.
Those two items.
You see, yes, the unseating of this government or HH7, it can't be it can't be removed, or rather, being unsacked by the current crop of leaders. One of the simple reasons is that if you analyze all of them one by one, you'll have to find that the standard of leadership that President HH7 is putting up, I think none of them is matching, in the sense that the record also matters, the track record of a leader. Yes. So if you look at, for example, ECL, the reason is there is no need of an indirect third term, and he's served the 7 years. And also he's coming back, the motive of coming back, whether it was personal or just being annoyed or being incited, is human. He cannot claim to be a demigod and think that what he decided was right. Yes, let's wait and see. So we are now saying he's already served his terms, and in the name of a third term it cannot. And then the reason of coming back, yes, and also the time he was leading the country, he also had his goods and his bads. Therefore, he shouldn't take it that, when he comes straight away. That's more reason why when it comes to providing the checks and balances or marketing himself as president, or so to say, they have to ensure that it is done in a way that is attractive, and then there is a point. But currently, the vengeance in terms of what is the speeches that people are giving and their checks and balances, can be seen that it's like wanting to come and avenge, which is not good. Okay. So that is one. You take another leader there, you find that I don't know which other leader you can mention. Okay, Savoy, for example, I've already talked about she's not a factor. Okay. Then you talk of Sharakateka, a very good lady and an able woman, and I love the way she's been coming up to where she is. She's actually catching up, being a woman leader, and we need more of Zambian women leaders. But then at the moment, I don't think going on the ground, she's strong in terms of the structures, and then that she could be able to stand on her own quickly. No, because she's taking Heritage Party from where it was up to where she is. So there's some groundwork that she needs to do, such that from a mobilization and organization point of view, if you were to ask her, give me all the names right away of your 10 provincial chairmen, your district chairmen, 116, or mention 20 of them, I don't think she may be able to. So what we're saying is, in terms of the strength of the party going down in terms of grassroots, yeah.
So the current opposition is not a factor?
It's not. Because
it's not a threat?
No, it's not a threat.
To the UPND alliance?
No. Some of them, they are one. Yes, you can't even know who is the vice president. You can't even know the secretary general. You can't. Yes. He is somebody who comes and becomes the secretary general of a particular group. Where is he coming from? Yeah, you find he's coming from wherever he becomes as a secretary general. But so that stamina of seeing that they have the structural or visible leadership that we can say it is well coordinated down there, it's not there. Each one has come in that manner without a common denominator of a particular strength. Yeah. Okay. So that is one side. Then you were saying each time they speak,
you get goosebumps as the UPND alliance.
No wonder. I was just saying in my case, I was giving credit to say it is all right. The freedom of expression that this country is now experiencing, President HH7's allowance of freedom of expression, freedom of assembly and stuff like that, that is one kudo that we can say it has made most of these opposition speak what they can. But out of their speaking, again, we are saying they just have to ensure that they provide an admirable criticism which people can say, oh yeah, this is the mean, so that people can be able to say, okay, I think from this point, yeah. But there's always some kind of hate, some kind of anger. There's no management of anger there. There's something to show that not until we come, I think you can never do nothing good, not until we come. So that's where I was even saying, can they be able to ensure that they provide the checks and balances? So that issue of saying we feel goosebumps or whatever because they have spoken, no, it's a question of them being able to be told, can you also add up with what it can help so that the Zambian people will choose. It's not even them to come and say, from what we speak, when we speak, then the ruling UPND alliance and is shaking, or they have goose pimples or goose bumps. No, it is not them as opposition leaders. Let the Zambian people be able to say that. But we are able to say that that doesn't send shivers in us. After all, just wait. It's soon and very soon. We are moving into next gear. National Democratic Congress, NDC, we have a campaign program that we have laid across. And this is a presidential, provincial campaign teams. We have already done that, and we are moving in a particular direction. And we'll be able to cement and dilute, even be able to shoot down some of what somebody may think.
You seem to be so confident, Mr. Kasonda.
Yes. Yes, why not, if not? Because you see, it is what you have prepared that should make you confident. If you go into a place without a mission, with no objective, then no. No wonder I've said, journalists, make sure in the near future as you get to interview or call for us as politicians, quiz us. Don't get worried. Don't think I'll say, no, have you been sent? Yes, nothing like that. Just be able to ask it prominently. What about this? What about that? And show them, yes. A leader that will come here who doesn't have a following, ask them. Yes, a leader who come here and give all the discredits, ask them. The other day I was even saying, the drunkenness that some of the opposition leaders have gone into because of the freedom of expression, it has sent some of them to be fugitives. They are now on the run. They are strangers in their own land. And they are busy trying to cast aspersions to say this country, the democratic dispensation, is shrinking, which is not the case. Now, what kind of leader is that? So we are now saying we should be patient when you are trying to provide your checks and balances, or when you are trying to prove that you are a force to reckon with. So the confidence comes from the way the current opposition leaders are portraying themselves. Yes, all of them, I can be able to say this one, these are the areas of weakness. This one, these are the areas. Like the UCA, all of them, yes. Coming to the current opposition or the socialist and then this other one, the KBF and the Sean Tembo and what, all those, yes, if they were to be put it, so now compete with HH7, they really have to do a good homework because the standard has risen.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Zambians, they will speak, they will call, they will give views and all that, and that. Get to the actual time. You see. It's what's going to happen. Yeah.
Okay. But as an alliance in government, are you open to criticism?
Yes, why not? Why is it that people today, not everybody, let me say, no one is being jailed to say because you have said this, dragged to court? No.
There are allegations that you're not allowing the opposition to conduct rallies, and yet the President of the Republic was in Northern Province, Nova Mission.
No, you say.
Is it EFF leader, Kasonde Mwenda,
yes.
Was quoted in the media yesterday saying that there is the shrinking democratic space because the opposition is not being allowed to gather and express themselves freely. Mr. Kasonde, isn't this supposed to be a concern?
Excuse me. No, you know what it is? There is time for everything. Okay. Even President ECL, former, he indicated, there was some clip, those of you may have clips where he was able to say, there is time for everything.
Exactly.
A rally is not a thing you can use as a yardstick to say, no, there must be proper time for rallies, so to say. Okay. But if you want to use a wrong system to be able to present a particular case, it won't work well. Okay. No wonder at times we have said opposition political parties, they should be ready to know what is it that they are saying now before they can say, let's escalate our saying to another level. If today you are found wanting because of the way you speak, maybe you hate speech or you've been questioned here and there, be able to be wise to say that, can I be allowed at the next step? Because you may also be in a blind spot where you think what you are talking about is the real thing, but you have also got problems or spots and wrinkles that can be pointed out. So this is the reason why we're saying the opposition political leaders, they are too quick, they are too fast to think, no, we're not being allowed. Are there no other ways on how they can be able to show their campaign? For example, okay, here is a socialist party, for example. He goes from this province, he talks to the people, moves to the other area, he talks to the people, yes, moves to the other area. You know, when you are gathering little by little, the Zambian people, you are not going to manage to know that they are aware about you all and all. But when you start from somewhere, a journey of 1,000 miles, start with one step. That is the way it should go. And then keep using other forums. They are always on the radio. They can be able to go in different towns. They can even have a town hall meeting or smaller portions of what. They just have to be strategic. This idea of being let's be able to say, okay, if plan A can't work, what is the next plan B, democratically speaking? Okay, this plan B can't work. You just become eclectic to ensure that you make people know. But our current opposition leaders, they are lopsided. And once they go, when they are told, no rally, oh no, that's the end. They are stuck. What next? Oh no. The democracy is shrinking. What type of a country is this and stuff like that? And yet there are other ways on how you can use your freedom of expression, freedom of assembly. You can. Okay. They do go to churches and stuff like that. But it's about not using one system alone. And that's a leakage I can give them. Be eclectic. Opposition political parties, be eclectic to ensure that if Plan A can't work, go to Plan B. This is your country. It's multipartyism. Therefore, use other means that could be able to. Yes. You see, even in our case, we're not going to waste time until we hold a rally as the National Democratic Congress, NDC. Yes. We will be able to use other forums, like the way we do it. Yes. So why shouldn't they, if than accusing the government over there?
Okay. Let's go to some of the burning issues. Load shedding is upon us. We saw it when you came into power. You told us load shedding is a thing of the past. Mr. Kasonde, we're experiencing load shedding. You're also experiencing load shedding. Let me get your views. Let me get your views, sir.
Yeah, no, you see, you are right. Everybody is having that challenge of load shedding. And sometimes I always want to be quick to mention that there are people who are responsible as far as the government is concerned, and then they have to put it clear to the Zambian people. But suffice to say that ZESCO, which is the franchise dealer in power generation, power distribution and management, they just have to be on their toes to provide what it takes to the energy minister, so that at the end of the government spokesperson can be able to come over here and keep speaking what actual efforts are being made, or what are the actual hindrances that up to now maybe we can't sustain, or we cannot be able to have it the way it was promised. So in short, what I'm saying is I'm an alliance partner, and being an alliance partner, we can only do that much of providing our checks and balances. For example, we can say the load shedding is biting on each and every person. What should be done is, can we engage the people that are responsible and then get what it takes so that the Zambian people are informed, and we end there. But to come and then put it in some kind of maybe technical way, talk of the generation, talk of the kilowatts and the watt, I think I'll be a very, very wrong person to put the actual position. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on from that. Let's look at still on the issue that has to do with power generation, but through charcoal. Now, there has been a ban placed on charcoal burning, and not so long ago we were told that the cutting down of trees will be considered illegal. Now, Mr. Kasonde, there are our brothers and sisters out there, our mothers, our fathers, that have engaged in charcoal burning, and they use this as their source of livelihood. So, there's a complaint, there's a concern. What happens now? Seeing that charcoal is on high demand, now that we're being load shedded, what happens? What assurance are you giving to these members of the public that are undergoing this challenge?
Have they, as the government said, have they banned the charcoal?
Yes, yes. And yesterday we carried out a story as Camnet TV where residents of Kanyama were complaining regarding their selling of charcoal. Now it's not going to be allowed or permitted because permits will no longer be given.
Or like you are talking like those at the markets. You come with a truck of charcoal, then they say don't sell it.
Even charcoal burning itself.
Yeah, because if you talk of charcoal burning is one thing and selling is another thing.
So both.
But this is where we are now saying there must be regulations that should apply from the source where there is cutting of trees. Of course, we must be cognizant to the fact that deforestation has got its own impact negatively on the climate of the country. But again, really you have to see what is in place, if at all we have to substitute that. Yeah, there is no way it could just be a complete ban and then the police move or the council police move into action where today we even say somebody at Kanyama market he's got the charcoal they're selling, let's say at Chaisa, right now as they're selling, then they go and clamp them and bring them. No, that would be pathetic in the sense that there will be those withdrawal symptoms. It's like when you have an addiction, we have withdrawal symptoms where if somebody will have to come and say, stop this drug and stuff like that, it will be death on that person because that is gradual. That's right. So there must be a way, and then you give what you may call the coping skills for somebody to be able to. In the same manner, we are saying charcoal selling and charcoal burning and the cutting of the trees has got where it's coming from before there, because we were on the receiving end of getting the charcoal. Suppose tomorrow there's load shedding, then you clamp on the people that are selling, and then somebody who needs warmth in a particular, then they die because of the cold season, all those put together. So I don't believe that it will be as quick as they can, but it can be a thing that should be on the routes, but then the regulation part of it, I think the government will have to ensure that they put something that will show, not to come and put a cross-cut. I think that, because there aren't, there has been what you're calling the solar power issue. Yeah. The government has to do a lot. So I'm talking of the regulations needs to really be seen. How do we do it before? But they have to sound the warning, because if it's totally quiet again, in other words, it's another way of also indicating that you charcoal burners, one day there would be a complete close. So what did you do for that? And this is where most of the Zambians need to understand. When the government also makes a signal, sometimes it can be in that way to say, no, there will be no charcoal burning, but go and find, you find still tracks are moving with the charcoal. It is an indicator to say, you people that are doing this, think of a plan B. But then the government will still be going on until when they'll say, and now I think enough is enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as we begin to wind up our program, Mr. Sunday, let me quickly find out from you. A day ago, we were celebrating Kenneth Kaunda Day. What do you remember about Super Ken or KK, and what lessons should the UPND Alliance adopt from KK's leadership or style of leadership?
No, President, the late KK, quite a lot. He's a founding father. And for some of us, even the education that we had was a free education, where I remember Independence Day, we could drink milk biscuit and Coca-Cola.
You're a beneficiary?
Yes, even sunrise biscuit. Every school should have, you have to go there and benefit. I mean, there was eulogizing the independence. It really had the meaning where we could remember utikaleva mwisabale tulikatoulofa nga bakwikata kukutwala mu kifungo era pakufuye mu kifungo balifa okukulekako baisako ato tumone paso nawe kwate ekitupa pass ngata ukwete iwe tawailo walenduka bule paso back.
You go back again.
Yes, but Keke there he was with his team, with the other veterans, and yes, the Kapwepwes, the Kamangas, they did their part. So we can remember for attaining independence. That was one thing that I. Then the other thing that I can be able to talk about is with his weaknesses, of course. He came up with the one-party state. I think that time he was trying to do one Zambia, one nation. When he saw that ANC and ourselves and this other party, there would be too much of. Yes, so he decided to say, let's have one Zambia, one nation, bringing the country together. I think that's another thing when we had that motto. And also the spirit of listening. If he was a man that could not listen, we were not going to have the multi-party state today. It was, yes, powerful as he was. Before his term ended, he listened where they pushed him around. No, let's have the amendment of the constitution to make it a multi-partyism. Yes. And they even had a setup where they take him to the Cathedral of the Holy Ghost, so that if he refuses, they'll say, one type of a Christian, you see. But there he was. He said, all right, you want it? There we are, come on, let's have the multi-parties. And then they went for the elections. Yeah. Okay. And one thing I can just remember also, which was a slight being human, he would have just allowed his MPs to stand again. When the next step, the second term came, when they barred him from standing, I think that one, I just remember that he made a contribution to bring UNIP down, because they all listened to him when he said, let's boycott these elections. Oh no, that was a grave mistake. But suffice to say that the spirit of understanding, bringing independence, and also just having many other industries that were there, and quite a lot that they put us together. That's what I can remember and say that our part today, it needs to be able to see that there is a listening ear to most of the leaders that are there. And also just to know that since we are one Zambia, one nation, when it comes to the cake sharing, it should just be done in such a way that there must be no line showing that these are members, these are what. It should be a mix. Let it be done. That's more reason why even the so-called cessation of the Barrow Land thing is not entertained. I think he did his part there to ensure that we are one and we do not become two, because once that becomes divided, then how do we do it? So even this country, this current president, it's important that he gets some of those attributes of the president. Let him leave a legacy, which people will say, okay, when HH7 was here, this is what, as it has been showing. There are a number of things that we may think he has not done well, but there are not, which some of us, or which we have been saying, there are no good things that this country is enjoying. There are plenty of them, and those are the ones we are saying, let's still use them and eulogize President HH to ensure that he's also doing his best, and one day when he will not be there, his term comes to an end, we should say, this is the part that he did. So in short, what I'm saying is, Keke did his part in terms of the independence. You come to this other man, our Frederick the Late, also it was multipartism that he brought. Yes, we come to His Excellency the Late, Levi Patrick Mwanawasa, it was fight against corruption. I'm sure I remember. He also, that's what he left.
The tax was against corruption.
That is the time you could even see ministers, some they could move with calabashes and the beads in the bush. Yes. And that time I will tell you, my daughter came and even said, I think that's when I remember that the corruption was too high. She just came when she was just 4 years. She came and she was in grade 1. She said, Daddy, I've heard that the ministers have been arrested. One has gone in the mountains and they were stealing. A minister stealing. So that time, I tell you, it was hell. Yeah. So much that now, Arabi also comes on the scene. Also, he does his part. If there is a president that I can remember who put up a lot of township roads, of course, there are no drainages, but he really, yes. And then Sata comes in with the road connectivity. Yes, the Link Zambia project. Up to now, we are enjoying the ring roads and stuff like that. He also did his part. Yes. Then we come to Edgar Lungu. At least also, he did his part. He continued with the infrastructure, although people misunderstood him when he said, no, I have no vision. All he was saying was, I just have to continue this. He was supposed to amplify that. Okay. Now he didn't. He just said, no, not much, whatever. People say they have no vision. And also the other thing I loved about him, I think which I can remember, according to me, if there was a president who could holidays, public holidays, I think he was good at that, creating public holidays.
Is he?
Yes. Yeah. And then we did, today you have done this, tomorrow it's a working day, you say, no, tomorrow it's a holiday. What? Oh, okay, this one it will be a holiday. Yes, he must have, if we go into archives, he must have created under his rule. There are some holidays that we are enjoying, which were created under him. He's one that he could not waste time on, So now we come into HX7, we're saying, as we are moving, definitely, he will leave a legacy. And some of the things, they are already happening, yes. And one of them, like we can be able to say, is the freedom of expression, where people speak, and some even commit crime, and run away and become fugitives. That is a big credit. Yeah, where people is able to even say, I will not send anybody to jail when you give concrete criticism. A president who comes out and strengthens the state institutions, to operate independently, without political interference and professionally. Yeah, a president that in the fight against corruption, money starts getting recovered, not just to look for prosecution, but money recovered, huge monies recovered, and some of it even now announces this one we are taking to there, like they did for Faith Musonda. That's 62 million, so to say. Even these monies that over the 731 million that was recovered recently, I think the government will have to ensure that it gives the people of Zambia where we take that money, because that was money from proceeds of crime by those people. And then let's see where is it being taken in the different sectors, because it has an impact on the economy of the country, on the Zambian people. Some people must have died because of that money that was stolen. The only thing that we want to see is where the strength of a person that is found in with corruption cases, I think not just to recover, but to escalate a punishment of being behind bars, and then starts watching on how the stolen money is working out, so that there's a learning curve there.
Okay. Mr. Osonde, I'm afraid we need to go, and I'll take it those were your last words, but let me thank you most sincerely for coming through.
Thank you very much, and thank you viewers And also my members, even the would-be members, please come home. NDC is in the alliance and we are ready to receive you. Yeah.
Okay. That's Mr. Joseph Kasonde. He is the National Democratic Congress Secretary General, making his appearance on Camnet TV here on Lunchtime Cafe. Thank you so much for having joined us on this particular day. And of course, on behalf of my director, Mr. Elijah Peter, and the entire production team, I have been your host, Joe Mata is my name. We'll see you next time or when you see us. Good afternoon.